So if you own a 3D printer or just hang out on Etsy from time to time, you have probably seen one of these articulated or like flexible dragons that people are selling. I mean, they're best sellers. But I thought to myself that let's try to make my own. How hard can it be, right? So in this video you will follow my journey from nothing to a finished printed articulated dragon, and you will see that I make some pretty big mistakes. So make sure to stick to the end so that you don't make these kinds of mistakes when you try to model something that should be moving when you 3D printed it. So I hop into Blender and start experimenting, and the first thing I'm thinking about is how should I get this, smooth, flexible movement that you see in all these listings on Etsy, for example. So my thought is, well, let's just make two circles that hook onto each other and do that between every body segment. So if you put one horizontal in the front and one vertical in the back, you will be able to just stick them to each other and make a long train. That's my thought at least, and we'll see if it works. So in Blender I will be using the sculpting mode, where it's basically just drawing in 3D. So you can both draw, like adding material, as you can see, and you can also use this tool that just drags the model around like you're sculpting it. And then as you can see here, I smooth out the object, and this is something that will happen a lot in this video. You basically redraw the model so that the squares are evenly spaced out, and it will be a lot more smooth to work with. And you can also change the size of each square that you want to draw. So, well, basically the 3D model is made up of a lot of squares, and if you set the square size to be very small, well, then there will be more squares and you will have a lot more detail and the model will look a lot smoother. So when I'm working here, you'll see that I start off with a pretty rough resolution, and as we work to smaller details, I will make the square size smaller so that we can work on finer details. But right now I'm just trying to get the general shape of each body segment, and I really don't have any big plans right now. I'm just trying to make something that doesn't look like a ball and two circles. Basically something that looks a little bit more like it could be a part of a body or a part of a dragon in this case. What I'm trying to do is just to integrate these circles with the body as best as I can without making it look too weird. So now I'm pretty happy with this just general body shape, but I have no idea where to go from here. So when I need, thinking dragon and I want inspiration, I go to Google and I search for, cool animals, of course. And okay, no, not that one, thank you. This looks pretty cool. What in the world? I have never seen this before. It's like a little spaceman. This guy is pretty cute, but I don't think he will look more intelligent if I try to model him. So I found this guy that basically looks like a cooler armadillo. I really like the pattern on his body, so I think I'll try to make something like that to my model. Let's see how it goes. So firstly, I tried to just draw these triangular shapes. So as you can see, it doesn't look very good. My next approach is like if I try to drag the pattern out instead. This is pretty tricky because you need to move the camera a lot, because even though you're sculpting something in 3D, you're still working in 2D, if you say so. Your monitor is just 2D. So you need to move the camera a lot to get the dragging the way you want. And this is just experiment, for my case at least, until you get it right. So this I feel looked pretty cool, getting a lot of spikes on the front here, and then I want big spikes on the top of the back. And then with the armadillo in mind, I tried to make some of these spikes on the side, but I make them a little more irregular and a little more three-dimensional. I try to make them as uneven and as random as I can to make it look as organic as possible. So when I'm happy with the general shape, I copy the body segment and I try and see if they fit together correctly without touching each other, because when they are going to be 3D printed, they cannot intersect at all, because they will be fused together. So I use this Boolean tool with the intersect setting to see where these two objects are intersecting with each other. And as you can see here, they are currently touching each other. So I just need to make sure that they are not touching each other. But at the same time, I want a lot of material around these intersecting points, or around these coupling points, because they don't look very natural, if you say. You don't want to see what's actually going on. That's at least my idea. So here I get the idea that maybe you could make the bottom look like it's some sort of flesh or organic material, and the top part is a shell, like a turtle almost. So I use this very weird brush that just makes the model look like a cloth or something that you can drag around, and it makes a very random and organic pattern. I have never used this before, so I just tried it, smoothed it out, and it looks pretty good, I think. Alright, I think it looks pretty good. You could always make the spikes bigger, make it look even cooler. And then I also try to enforce this feeling that it is some sort of shell, so I just traced this outlining out. It probably won't be visible in the end because these parts will be hidden at the intersecting points. So when I'm happy with the overall shape, I take the part into Bamboo Studio to just make sure that the part actually can be 3D printed and that I haven't made any big mistakes with huge overhangs or anything like that. I would really like to not have to use any supports or anything when printing this, because from my experience the prints looks so much better if you can avoid that. So for those who don't know, this is a program, they are called slicers. They're used for 3D printing to prepare the 3D model to be 3D printed, and you can set up all the settings for your printer in this program. And you can also see these blue parts of the body are called overhangs, and they are really hard for the printer to make. So you want to avoid as much of these blue parts as possible. So a trick that I often use to minimize these overhangs is actually to lower the layer height. Lowering the layer height doesn't just make the print look more detailed, it also helps with overhangs. I also check that the parts can be printed linked to each other like this, and as you can see they are right now intersecting to each other. And the reason for this is actually because I rotated the parts in the slicer. So when I'm back in Blender I make sure to rotate it already right here, so that the orientation is the way it will be when it's printed as well. This will make it a lot easier to see already in Blender where the intersections will happen. So after smoothing out and adjusting the coupling points a lot, finally not intersecting anymore, and I can cut off the bottom part of the body to have it have a flat bottom for it to be 3D printed on. So the next step is to, well, have a lot of these body segments, and I go straight to ChatGPT and ask how you do this, and well, of course ChatGPT gives me an answer and I try it. So the array modifier, I add it to the part and it looks like it works, but there's something very weird. The parts are not moving in a straight line, they are going up like a staircase, as you can see, and this is not what I want, and I have no idea why this happens. But one thing I've learned is that you can go into the part and just hit this button, apply rotation and scale, and it usually fixes a lot of strange issues that you're having. And in this case it worked, so I'm very happy with that. So here I can really easily just add as many of these body segments as I want in a straight line. I load it into the slicer again and make sure that it looks good, no intersecting issues, and it's, as you can see, it looks pretty good. But I would like it to, go in a straight line. I would like the body to bend so that I can fit more segments on the build plate, because currently I'm very limited when they are in a straight line like this. So after talking to ChatGPT a bit more, I heard that you can add one of these just curves and then make the body fit along this curve. And I try it and it does not work at all. I look further and I find another way. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I make when modeling this. I haven't realized it yet, but soon I will, and when you see the final 3D printed result, you see that it's actually pretty bad. But right here I realize another issue. The body is like not even, it's not flat. So after a lot of troubleshooting, I finally realized that, well, the curve was not flat at all. The points were not on the same level in the curve, and these points were not angled evenly either. So I just ended up redrawing the whole curve, making sure that the camera is actually straight above what I'm drawing, so everything is even. I also decided to make a smaller circle. And here I see the big issue. When I'm using this fit to curve modifier, each body segment are actually bending to the curve. So it's not that each body segment is straight and they are just being bent at the circle coupling points, which is what I would want. Instead, the whole thing is being bent to the circle. But I see the issue and I think to myself that, well, it can't make too much of a difference. It's not intersecting in the slicer or anything, so let's just try it. But you will see in the final result that I might have wanted to go with another strategy because, yeah, you'll see. Now, the fun part, the head. So when modeling the head, I start with just one circle and then a ball, because it will hook up to the front of the whole body train. And I start by just trying to drag out a very general shape of some sort of dragon head. And this, to me, is the hardest part, you know, getting the general shape as you want it. Getting the general shape to look good, I guess. Often it will just look very weird and I do not know where to go from there. But right here I think it looks pretty good. It looks almost like some sort of crocodile. And right about here I feel like it's starting to look pretty weird. It doesn't look like a dragon at all. I tried to save it by, you know, adding spikes, because spikes are cool, dragons are cool. Of course it will work. I make sure to enforce and try to integrate this circle that will hook up to the body, make it look natural. But right now the head does not look natural. It looks very weird, and as you can see, it's very small as well. So I just try to drag it out, make it bigger, make it fit the body. And right here this does not look good, but hopefully we can save it. It looks so weird. It looks like a rat skull or something. Snake. Let's just add a lot more detail, hope it turns out better. And now the head looks very big and it has a really small nose, so I try to make that bigger. This, I feel like, is the hardest part of 3D modeling. You feel like you have an idea in your head and you just want it onto the screen. But for me, at least, often I find that maybe I don't have such a clear idea in my head and I just go with the flow and it ends up looking like this. But here I get the idea, of course. How do you make it look like a dragon? You add horns. Now we're talking horns, spikes, already, you know, dragon. I get a little more confidence here. I try adding some more details, make sure to enforce the eyebrows, the cheekbones, the jaw. Make it look a little more aggressive. I try to define the mouth and I'm already dreading how am I going to make the mouth. I want teeth, of course, but how do you make teeth? I want teeth, but how do you make teeth look good? So this is my first attempt, just drawing some teeth. Yeah, I don't think I have to say much. It does not look good. Jesus. I think I can save this. No? Oh god. This looks horrifying. Alright, I tried to save this by, you know, dragging out some points on each teeth, and it does not look good. And I don't even think that this will be printable, so yeah, no, it's time to start over. I will come back to the teeth when I'm ready for it. I will just, you know, procrastinate that for now. So now my idea is let's just make it like goofy or something. I add this very big smile to it, and I think, well, why not? It looks fun. I'm kind of giving up on the realistic look. And here it's actually turning really weird. I feel like it's starting to look like some sort of cow or something, especially with the nose like that. Cow, crocodile, I don't know. It does not look good. It does not look like a dragon, at least. But of course, how do you make it look like a dragon? Adjust the horns. But no, I really feel like this looks like some kind of cow skull. Oh, no, no, it's a cow. Jesus. So I think the problem is the nose, and I tried to adjust it, thinking, you know, how does a dragon nose look? I don't really know, something like this. And I think it actually transformed it a lot, just adjusting the nose. I think it kind of looks like a dragon now. I'm adding the eyeballs just to make it look better and not get this hollow skull feel. So, adding a lot of details, and finally I do not have any more details to add. I don't think I can hide from making the teeth anymore. I think I have to do it and see how it turns out before going further. So I start just, you know, let's just draw the teeth. How will it look? And to my surprise, it doesn't look too bad, I guess. It doesn't look realistic, but it doesn't look weird. I try to drag down these huge front teeth, and then I do the same for all the others. And I think it looks pretty okay, actually. A lot better than what it looked like before, if you remember. So at this point I want to make sure that it fits to the body, that it doesn't intersect or anything. Of course it did intersect at some points, but after adjusting that I think it looks pretty good actually. I add some more details around the mouth, making sure the horns look great, add a little spin to them. And yeah, I'd call this the head part done actually. So now it's just the tail left. I just take one of the body segments and just merge the end together and turn it into some sort of tail shape, trying to make it fit into the general shape of the whole body part, not making anything too complicated actually. Then place that at the end of the body chain, and this is the result. What do you think? I'm actually pretty happy with it, but let's not be too happy yet because we need to print it as well. So I throw it into the slicer and have a look at it, and yeah, it looks good. Wow, no intersecting at the tail, no intersecting at the head. Well, oh, we have a lot of overhangs on the head. So I hop into Blender, smooth those parts out, and the nose as well doesn't have any supports to be printed on. So I make sure to drag the nose down so it has something to be printed upon. And now it's done. And it looks like it will be able to print. So I'm sending it to the printer, and it starts. I make sure to do something productive in the meantime. And the printer is halfway done and it looks really well. Here it is, the final result. And let's have a look at it and have a look at some of the problems as well. Alright, if this was a dragon, you would like it to, you know, be able to slither around or like do all these kinds of cool tricks that they do in the videos. But as you can see, my dragon doesn't really do that. It can't straighten out. It's permanently bent. This is because of the curve fit to curve method that I used. It bent the whole dragon, not just bent it at the intersecting points. So if I would do this again, I would try to find some other method. Maybe just, you know, copy and paste each body segments and place them as I want them, because you know, it isn't too many parts to copy and paste. And if you go that way, you could also add some extra details to individual body parts and make it look even cooler. Maybe add the feet, wings, or something like that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.